all the time monk house is a mountain there. So they good for self-defense, automatic. That I want. But they have a strong mind, strong discipline. But it's not enough. We need to learn self-defense too. So I teach monk people too. But very, very good discipline. They have strong mind. I like that. Yeah. Never say pain. Yeah, never say pain.
So was it the monks in Korea or
Korea.
In Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, with me, I have Native ancestry, Native American, and we believe in for balance, to have balance, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Those four, to walk in balance.
Everything good.
Yeah, everything, and so
That's good.
And nature is a good teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Nature is the best teacher. Just by watching the way nature, how it is. What kind of teachings did you learn on your own from doing martial arts? What about with nature and spirituality?
It's little light jumping. Light jumping is a very good for balance.
Balance.
Yeah, front step, back step, side step, left side step, right step, and then turn around step. Everything is a balance practicing. That's a good all together, the balance. You know, step, front step, go front, back step, go back, side step. Everything make good balance. That's good exercise. I'll tell you, anything is a good exercise. Yeah, martial art. Maybe you come up with stole, steal, or jumping, tumbling, everything include balance. That's a good for.
Everything has balance.
Everything have a balance.
Martial arts, everything.
Everything balance. Different style, but everything balance. Everything.
Did you ever teach meditation or anything like that to your students, or did you practice it?
We do long time ago, long time ago history, lot of that way teaching too. Lot of teaching too, because master have to teach you right way because they learning strong, martial art, strong style they learning, so they need to learning for discipline. So before martial art, knee down about all the time, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, with the learning for, medication, and master say, teaching, medication. You have to do that way. You have to grow up that way. Or you have to do martial art this way. You cannot do this way. You have to do patient. That kind of talking long time ago we do. Every day. Every day, about 2-3 minutes, knee down and making cross eye because we don't need to see, a lot of things. Cross eye to make it out, and then with the medication. And after, we do a lot of different meditation, learning. Long time ago that way. But now, people don't like it that way. Yeah, the different, lot of world change too much. Then I can say, too much world change is crazy style. I can say that way. Not long time ago style. Long time ago, only good way. Everything good way. But now, different. Yeah. You want to learning a long time ago style, you have to living over there, mountain, far away, not around here. Different, because everybody different. If I do that way, then people say me crazy. The whole time. Yeah. Sometimes I like to go mountain. Sometimes I tell my wife, I want to go back mountain. That kind long time of feeling. That kind, I'm talking that way. But I have family, I cannot go. If I don't alone, I go mountain. I do that way, talking my wife. But if I don't alone, that way. But now I'm the father, husband. I have responsibility. I have to take care. You know, I don't want to pay the people attack my family. Then I have to take care. So that's my responsibility. Yeah, because I grew up martial art that way. So this is the right way. This is the right way. Right way.
Yeah, well, there was a time when he showed up at my high school, and he just took me out of high school, and the people in the office let us go, and I didn't know it was that easy to get out of high school because I always had to forge notes and everything from my parents, but yeah, one day Master Huh came on campus, and I was at the lunch tables, and of course this is the mid '90s, so I was at Esperanza High School where there's 7,000 students, and they're all just teaming and eating lunch at the tables. So if you can imagine a campus with just scores of students, or thousands of students literally, just out having lunch at the tables. And then one guy walks on campus and shouts for everybody to hear, "Mean Mike!" and 7,000 people look to see this guy just yelling. And then and then everybody at the table with me says, "Is that him? Is that Master Huh?" And I said, "Yeah, I gotta go, guys." And then we leave, and sure enough, we go to the office, and he checks me out, and he's got this charm with all the office ladies, and they don't ask him if he's related to me. They don't ask him if he's my parent or my uncle. And he just says, "I'm going to take him. Is that okay?" And they say, "Yeah, sure." And they signed the papers for me to leave the high school. And then maybe we go to some place, and he has me do a demo with him. But yeah, I was really impressed that he could just do that. For not only to walk on campus and just yell with everybody watching, but then to just have such an ease, just a facility to just get me out of school like that. And everybody says, "Okay, sure, yeah, whatever you want, sir." So there's that. Also, his studio was about the size of mine. It was about the same size.
Yeah.
It's enough for training, but sometimes you get a lot of people in the room, and it's just too crowded. So we would actually train outside of the studio.
About one class of 30, 40 people practicing here.
Yeah. So I mean, when I have 15 in here, it feels crowded. So you can imagine with 30 people in here. So we would train outside. So sometimes we would run all around the neighborhood, or we would go to the park, or even just in the strip mall. There was some landscaping and trees, and we would just go and kick the trees in the I don't know if the landlord liked that, but I remember those of us who were high-level black belts, we all had our own tree behind the studio. And it was just the landscaping of the hill that as the strip mall gave way to the residential areas, you might have some shrubbery and plants and trees. And we all had our own tree that we picked, and we would just kick that tree every day as part of practice. And we had kind of a running competition to see who had the biggest divot in the bark of who had knocked away the most of the tree. And we would come and like survey each other's trees and see, oh, look how deep, Doug's is, and oh, mine's pretty deep here, right here. So there was that. There was a time we went down to the river, and we were filming. Actually, we were filming techniques he was making a tape at the time, and we went down to the river, and we cut some bamboo off, and we were using the bamboo as staffs and practicing that way at training staff techniques. We call it bong, and then just spontaneously, Master Huh said, let me just film some stuff for the camera. And he just started chopping branches off of the tree with his hand. just like... So I just thought like he just, it was an idea. It was just the camera. Oh, here, I'll just catch me doing this.
He has a very hard training mentality. So I always picture him like going to the US and he's training like these suburban white kids like special forces.
That's what it
So
was.
for you, what was that like? What was that training like?
Well, it was intense, but I had never experienced anything different. I didn't know that it could be softer, and I don't think I would have wanted it to be softer. I wanted to learn martial arts, and I could see that he knew, and he was very good at martial arts. So if he said to do something, I said, well, that's what you got to do. So I never questioned it as, or this is too hard, because I liked it, you know. And I would even practice when I wasn't at the studio. I practiced all day. I kicked trees and I trained all day, which I know other students don't do that. But I think that's what you have to do to be really good. You can't only train 1 hour at the studio.
Yeah.
You have to be thinking about it all day, at least for a few years, to get really good. But no, his training was so intense that I remember at his studio, he had a back door, and then he had put up a hallway next to that back door where there was like a little changing area and then the bathroom. So there was like a maybe 2.5 foot square box that was there in the back of the studio. And what he had us do was to stand inside that box, literally like with a door on your right side, a door on your left, and a door behind you. So you're stuck in there. There's nowhere to go. And then he would get one of his biggest students, like maybe like 260-pound Big Joe, and then Big Joe would put on 16-ounce boxing gloves, and he would stand at the fourth wall of that little cube, and we had to stand in there. And the task was that Big Joe would just unload boxing combinations on us, and we had to just handle those boxing combinations from this big guy when I'm like, 160 pound, as you said, a little white kid. And well, that's good. You learn. I mean, when a big guy is punching your head, there's no better way to learn how to not get your head hit. And I think people who don't have that experience of blocking their face for real, they're gonna get their head hit. So you got to have it real. You got to have that kind of real training like that. Or gosh, we would go outside and we would do duck walks around the building. Like I do duck walks, I have my students do duck walks in here, and it's like 30 feet one direction and 30 feet the other direction, and they're already standing up because it hurts their legs. But we would go around the building with duck walk, and like the whole strip mall. So yeah, and we're just used to it, and that if you don't push yourself to those levels, you let your mind make you give up. If you just submit to giving up, you never get good. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that kind of training. I'm pretty sad that my students don't want to train that way. And I see that their skill just matches. They don't get as good as they could be at those kind of superhuman levels we used to reach. I mean, I think about the decay of skill and technique to the time when Master Huh was training with the monks. How seriously those people trained, to then my generation where it was still pretty serious but less. It's still, I mean, I trained hard, but I still didn't train as hard as he did. To now when I'm teaching, and this cell phone and helicopter parent generation where they don't do anything at all.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see how everything's getting weaker, and there's a decay in discipline and a decay in skill.
Yeah.
But we do our best, and there's always there's still a small percentage of people who do adopt that, but it's just less each generation.
Anything, don't matter what sport or even computer or anything, don't matter. Anything have to special training. Anything, martial art, don't matter anything. Special training make a top technique. Have to try that way. Anything. Yeah. You want to be cookman, then you have to go very special training. Then you can be top. Anything top. I'm talking about top. So I like to do special thing, anything. If I want to do, I want to do special. Or not, either way. Yeah, I do that.
right?
Yeah, I do that way. Anything. Anything I try, anything, even fishing, don't matter. I want to try anything, best one. Or not. I do that way. I don't like a so-so. That one
Yeah.
doesn't go my mind.
So whatever you do, you give it everything.
Everything right way.
Oh, yeah.
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 Anything right way. Anything is top way. You know. Yeah. And which one is the top? Which one is the best? I want to be there. That kind. I have my martial art helping that way. The martial art. Even I do that way. My children, they borrow my style little bit. They have that kind of mind too. I see. Because Papa do that way. I can see my son do that way personally. That's good. Good for him.
Yeah. So I noticed, Master Huh, that you have good intuition. You think you think you got that from martial arts? I used to work in the jails. I worked in prisons.
Yeah.
And I worked with kids in the streets.
Then you know what I'm saying.
So I'm always looking.
Oh yeah.
Little things.
Yeah.
But I notice you do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that important for you to do that?
Yeah, but I don't know martial art. Same time I grew up that way. Yeah. Anything I like or top finish it. What is it? Question. What is it? I want to know or not. That kind of personality. Even martial art. What is the top martial art? Lazy finder, because I try a lot of hard, more. Lazy finder. But everybody say, I'm the martial art #1 best. You don't know nothing. That I say. Because I training myself. Long time ago I have a studio in Korea. If I training myself, nobody there, locking the door, nobody come. Inside the house, inside the studio, I train myself 3 hours alone. Then good feeling. I do that way, you know. Anybody say I'm #1 martial art, I'm #1. He can say, but somebody say not #1. You cannot say that way. #1, nobody. Nobody there #1. But who is the top? Who can say that? Little bit, but I'm #1. #1? No, I can say #10. That people. You know what I mean? Not finish. Study, no finish. Martial art, no finish. Anything, no finish. After you die, you can finish. When you die. That's a life. Learning, whole life. Learning, whole life. Non-stop.
Just want to thank you, Master Huh, for the interview. And it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long
No
time.
problem.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll do more.
If I introduce to, and then a lot of martial art people, they understand more, then I'm happy. Because my life, martial art, whole life I spend on martial art. So anybody martial art people, they understand master of talking. And you understand. I'm happy, my friend.
Those were good teachings.
That's a whole learning, more understand. Everything good, you know. Good for learning for yourself.
Right.
That's good way. Everything. Martial art helping, good for your life. That's what I say.
Yeah.
If I don't know martial art, then what happened to me? I don't know what kind of person change that will happen, you know. So I tell you, good for martial art. Good for learning patient, self-dependent. That's good. Yeah, that's a good way.
Thank you.
That's only one way. That's the way. Yeah, don't mess up life. When you mess up life, your life is gonna go strange, bad way happen. No mess up life. Yeah.
Master Huh.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, everybody.